but this last week I made about 9,000.
This is Loren Phelps, and you guys may not know him yet, but he just did 9K with his clothing brand in 1 week. Now let me take you back to November, all right? So Loren basically reached out to me, and he had just purchased his first bulk order. He purchased like 400 pair of sweatpants, right? He did his launch, and I think he did like 30 sales, okay? So it was a pretty bleak situation, but Loren had some fucking balls, all right? And he reached out to me, and he wanted me to help him to essentially recover his situation and make something bigger out of the small reservation-based clothing brand that he had created a month prior. And he was pretty much starting from scratch, all right? No degree, no design experience, no experience with clothing. He didn't know how to make clothes, didn't know how to talk to manufacturers. He was a fresh beginner and certainly didn't have the 10K to start your clothing brand that everybody says that you need. Now, flash forward a few months, Loren's brand's gone from doing a couple $100 on launch day with a shit ton of inventory left to sell to doing $9,000 in a single week. Loren and I have worked really hard in the past couple of months to really position his brand differently in a way that kind of curates a more intimate community amongst his people on the reservation. And we've taken some of the strategies that I've implemented with my brand Tamed Psychotic, meshed them together with some repositioning strategies, some community development strategies, and now he's well on his way to those 100K months that every clothing brand owner dreams of. He's built a diehard community with great products that both him and his customers love. And he's really got some momentum going now. He's killing it. So I sat him down to talk about his growth, his experience, and why community is pretty much the ultimate growth hack for clothing brands in 2025. This interview was done just 4 months after working with my team and I, and you'll get to hear from Loren himself on his experience working with me, working with his brand, building it from the ground up, and recovering from that really shaky start that he had back in November. So sit back, enjoy, take your notepad out. You could learn something today. All right, guys, so this is Loren Phelps. Started working with Loren Phelps a few months ago. When exactly did you join Urban Unity?
I think I joined the school one in November. It was
Yeah.
like at the time I just like finally got the bulk order, and I was like, you know what, I gotta tap in with this guy Marsh. I feel like he knows what he's doing. Let's see what he can help me with before I actually start this clothing right now.
Nice. And I guess taking us to our current date and time several months later, real quick, how much did you do with your brand last week?
I did 9K in sales. It was a huge jump from the first 4 months of learning the process of everything. I think about the first 4 months, I made about pushing 2,500, but this last week I made about 9,000.
Nice. And how does that feel, dude? That's huge, by the way. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's insane if I really think about it. Like just the amount of followers I have, um, even though it's like so low, I feel like I just tapped in with like a good community, and everyone just like supports the brand, supports the vision, supports just wants to support and see what's gonna come next.
Nice. And where do you see this all going in the future?
I see this using the community and using where I stand as within like the brand and everything. The brand just made to inspire a bunch of people, a bunch of like native people on the res, because it's a huge story that I have to dive into to really understand. But in the bigger picture, being inspired on the res just pushes out a bunch of opportunities for people who don't believe in themselves.
Mhm.
And in the future, I do want to help people out that don't see a future, or maybe like well, there's a couple of things in the future that I want to do, like definitely keep the clothing brand alive, but also like help out like building in the community, because I am a contractor with my dad. So I feel like I just like building stuff, I like creating stuff. And this is my first time building a community, and it feels really good to have like actual people standing behind your back.
Nice. That's really
Yeah.
cool. It's really cool. So, real quick, just kind of like from the perspective of a founder, what do you think has been the biggest things that led you to this moment where you just had a week where you did really good with your clothing brand and you feel the
Mhm.
momentum, you feel the community standing behind you, and you see a bright future ahead? Kind of like, what do you think were the biggest things that brought you to that point?
So I've I've been wanting to start a clothing brand for 3 months. Just a little backtrack. The first time I ever made clothes was for the construction business, and I only made like about 10 for a couple of workers, and then a bunch of other people wanted it, and I was just heat pressing stuff. And then this is before I started the brand 3 years ago, and then I started investing into other equipment, like this embroidery machine, and I've just been like learning stuff along the way, and then it just kind of like it was a good time meeting you because after like from meeting you from the point I started to now, I just like jumped a huge. I just learned like a lot of knowledge from you, and it just helped push the brand to push five figures essentially, and yeah.
Nice, nice. So, get kind of going a little bit deeper into exactly like, how me and my team may have helped you. What do you think were the biggest things that we were able to, provide you with in terms,
Mhm.
do you think it was knowledge? Was it community? Was it resources? What do you think was the biggest thing that you got from, working with me and my team?
I think just seeing you guys work, just seeing you like how you guys are always like doing stuff, putting out content, and of course everyone helped. Like Callie helped with the designing a couple of pieces that are yet to come out, and I haven't locked in with Nick, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't locked in with him yet because I feel like I built websites before, so I already know how to like work a couple of things. But with you, I think you helped me on my biggest business model for the brand, which is community. And before I was just trying to like just be an online thing, see if I can make cool clothes. But now it's a lot bigger than that because you said, hey, you're in a nice project, or you're in a nice like area where there's not a lot of uh, like clothing brands there, and you'd be like the first one to start this up. So like if you build a community, it would help you out a lot more.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think with your situation, the element of the community is probably like your kind of like life raft. Like that is the foundation of your brand, and I believe why your brand will be successful and already has reached some level of success. I think the community is important. But one thing I really, really want to highlight here is that you took like the idea of community and you implemented it in your own way and you didn't just go and try and copy what I was doing. And I think that that's really, really impressive and insightful to a lot of people. I think that a lot of people think that, okay, well, if I need to be successful, then I'm going to go and copy what the guy that I'm looking at that is successful is doing, right? And what you did was you said, okay, well, he's using this, this, and this to be successful. How can I apply that to my own scenario? How can I apply that to my own circumstances, to my own, the advantages that I have? So for you, what I think is really, really genius about what you did was specifically looking at, okay, what are the advantages that I have and how can I play into those? The advantages being primarily the fact that your community is so concentrated in like a small area. So doing things like in-person events and hooking, plugging in with, like actual, pre-existing communities like the basketball team that you worked with, like the actors and the community, kind of like tastemakers essentially that you're working with. I think that
Mhm.
you really, really did a good job of that. Would you say that's kind of that's been somewhat of a big contributing factor to the success of the brand?
It has. It has. I feel like, and all that would have not have happened if without my team, of course, but also without you pushing that community
Well, dude,
and
I
like
appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, no, I think community is huge. I think that anybody who's going to be successful in the long term with their clothing brand needs community. Whether that's an in-person community, a community, whether it's like a separated by race or by interest or by kind of like just attitude or by culture or by whatever it is. I think it's really, really, really important to just identify the factors that will develop that community and identify like that one thing that your community can rally around, and then finding a way to position your brand alongside that one thing so that your community is now already rallied around one thing, but now they're also rallied around your thing. And I think you did a very, very good job of that. And I think that's why you'll be as successful as you have been. So now I guess my next question for you is what's your next steps? Like what's your plan for moving forward?
Definitely want to keep the brand going. I want to so right now we're just doing single drops.
Mhm.
But I do want to move into like four-piece, five-piece collections, and then just keep pushing the brand a lot further. And I have some more stuff that I'm trying to work on besides the brand, but definitely the brand is like a big helping hand, and I just want to keep feeding the brand.
Nice, nice. That's sick. That's sick. So where do you see yourself in like 5 years from now? Where do you think?
I'm looking into some land right now close by. It's about 10 acres, and I because of the my other business, I do want to like help out. I still want to help out families because right now we're helping out families on the reservation with the clothing brand and also with the construction brand. We're building bathrooms for people that middle out or live in the middle of nowhere. So we're like basically helping people
That's awesome.
with with both businesses and so with the in the 5 years, I see buying that land and like renting to like low income families um, to for them to live closer to a job opportunity because I live in the nearest like town border of the reservation, so it'll be easier for people to to move into houses and get to the job easier.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome. It's really cool to see brand owners just giving back to their community. I think having a community is like having a child in a way. You know, you have
Hmm.
to nurture the community. You have to, you know, give the community this and help the community and lead the community. And I think that you're doing a really, really good job of that. So I guess my next question for you would be how is this affected? Like, how do you feel about this emotionally? Like, what do you feel like outside of the money, right? The money is great
Hmm.
and everything. But outside of the money, how do you feel like this has impacted your life and impacted your career? Because I know for myself, my brand has impacted my career immensely. Like I feel way more fulfilled. I wake up excited to tackle it. I wake up excited to make new clothes and to show, you know, new projects that we're working on and, you know, to plan pop-ups and to plan events. So what is that like for you?
It's even though it's just the beginning, I feel like it definitely changed my life. Like every other day, I get emails or I get DMs saying like, "Hey, like you're," even though it's just like a shirt, everyone's been complimenting it, and I just love the meaning behind it because we just released our like our the brand's message shirts.
Mhm.
Um, so that has definitely been a huge like a fire starter, like a drive to help build my drive to push even harder with the clothing brand.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Nice, nice. So you'd say it's just like it's probably a project that you just kind of fallen in love with, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for me. It's I would say out of all the businesses that I've done, and I know you've done a lot of businesses too, for me, it's definitely the most fun. It's the most like
Mhm.
creatively fulfilling. Would you say it's the most fun for you? Or
Yeah. It is. I feel like I lose track of time. Lose track
Mhm.
of time, and it's just fun in general. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite part about it, you think?
I think just hanging out with my friends and doing it like a community, like meeting new people in the community that are help pushing the community and making content is fun too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I would say one of my favorite parts about it is definitely like interacting, like building a project with other people recently.
Mhm.
You know, we did our big shoot and we had a bunch of, you know, members of our community in our film and it was just super, super awesome to like build something cool, like, you know, content wise and clothing wise, but like
Mhm.
with our community, that was just really, really fulfilling for me. So well, that's really, really cool, man. So I guess my next question for you would be if you were to give one, you know, word of advice to somebody thinking about starting a clothing brand, you know, maybe trying to start, what would you say to them?
I would say just start, like what everybody else says, just start, and then you'll find your own lane, and it'll just work for you if you just push hard enough.
Hmm. Gotcha, gotcha. And where do you think is the best place to learn and get experience? What do you think is the best place to learn, you know, like in general? Like, do you think it's like in person? Do you think it's kind of like hands-on? Do you think it's on YouTube? Do you think where do you think is the best place to learn?
Um, I think it just depends on your like where you are at in life. So if you don't have enough time, if you're busy with something, then that's where I'm at actually right now. So I just I just like the way that you're set up with your community. It's
Mhm.
all online and everyone just FaceTimes, asks questions in the Discord, and that's just what worked for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just don't have time in person.
Yeah. Yeah, time in person is important. Just time working, I think, is important.
Yeah,
It's important to learn as you work, and I think it's also important to learn from other people as they work. Which is why, I created Urban Uni, why I, created this resource just because whenever I was learning, I had nothing like this. I had no people to like, learn alongside. I had no people to learn from, and it was just kind of like, just shooting in the dark till walking around in a dark room till I found the doorknob, essentially, and then, walking into the next dark room and feeling around till I find the doorknob and doing that over and over and over again until I finally, broke through and escaped and saw a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel and found my, direction and trajectory. So, well, dude, I don't want to, drag this on for too long, but I do appreciate, you coming and giving your experiences. It's really, really cool to talk with people who have gotten like real results. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
really cool to know that like something that I've created has like helped somebody to like build something that they love. That's for me, that's my priority with this. Is to essentially just like this is my brand obviously is like my favorite thing. Like it's like my kid.
mhm,
Like I don't have a relationship right now because I spend too much time like on my brand and like it's because I love my brand. I wouldn't trade that, right now in this
mhm.
phase of my life. And it's really, really cool to, see that I've been able to build something that like helped other people with that too. So I do appreciate you, coming on and, taking time out of your day to talk about your experience. So off recording and stuff, what's kind of like your next steps as far as like you doing you said I know you were saying like you were doing like a 5-piece collection here soon, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I definitely am going to. I have a yeah 5-piece collection of either like cultural related things or like a MIW concept or like sportswear because like the clothing brand on the Navajo Nation is like so untapped. And oh, a big one that I didn't tell you is it's super huge. It's gonna be super huge. So I'm a reservation like on the bottom of the United States, right down in Arizona, and
Yeah.
I'm working with a native clothing brand in Canada. So we're gonna try to make a collection, like collaboration
Oh, that's
of
huge.
so to reach like all the reservations in between.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's probably the
insane.
biggest
That
thing.
that could be a really, really sick expansion project. That
Yeah.
massive. Yeah, I think the collaborations are really, really cool to do. I'm doing a collaboration with a brand in fourth quarter. It's
Mhm.
actually a jewelry brand. It's actually not a clothing brand, but and I'm really, really excited to see how that could go.
Yeah.
That could be really, really sick. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, dude, outside of that, like, what do you think you'll do another in-person event or like a pop-up or anything?
I'm gonna try to find one. I'm gonna try to find a good one though, a good one because the pop up that we were just at, we like outdid ourselves. We like set up like walls and everything. Everyone else just had like tables, tables and like tablecloths. But we built like an entire setup, and
No.
so I do want to keep doing that, like showcasing the brand in like an elevated way to where it just like speaks to people. You step into like another world. You're like, oh, this is a new world.
Do you
Yeah.
prefer doing those pop-ups kind of like at like pre-existing events, or do you think you'd probably do one eventually like by yourself, like as at an event of your own?
Yeah, the next step we're doing it in June is a member of the team is also like a well-known like native artist,
Mhm.
music artist, and we're gonna do like a pop-up with him too. So that'll be like a collaboration pop-up, and then but the next one definitely want to do like uh,
Like a
a
standalone?
yeah, like a solo pop-up of
Yeah,
Koso, yeah.
that'd
And then
be
I think
sick.
yeah, I think it'd be pretty huge. We just like bring a bunch of like food vendors,
Mhm.
some fun person events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm actually doing one of those this month. I'm really excited to do it. We're gonna have like a cover drum artist come and do like, just cover songs and stuff.
Mhm.
We're gonna have a steak truck where we have like one with like steak, like corn in a cup, like orange cigarettes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna have a I'm considering doing like getting bringing in like a BMX half pipe, like having
Yeah.
a truck bring in like like a half pipe ramp, and then like
Mm-hmm.
having two guys that are just really gnarly on BMX bikes go and like rip for like just like a show kind of. I think
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would
so.
be
I don't
sick.
know. I think it'd just be cool, something that people could document. I'm also considering doing like an arm wrestling tournament. I
Oh, you
think that
should.
would be insane. Like that's like
Yeah,
maybe a little bit immature, but it's also like some like just chaotic shit that I think
yeah.
would clip. I think that people would post about it, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important at those events to create something like an opportunity that people want to post, like that creating
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity that people like want to post so that you can bring like eyeballs from like organically from other people's things. So for like, what do you think is something you could do to bring in like organic traffic from other people posting that they're at the event, you think?
Maybe some like some native games, like some traditional games,
Yeah, like
and then
traditional stuff.
yeah, like traditional games, or maybe like even some like basketball, or I don't know. It is pretty difficult. I never thought about it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's it's tough to think about because like in my opinion like these in-person events are like a really good way for like I think like the best thing about community events is essentially just showing people that like showing your audience and your community that you're like kind of like giving your community a good experience. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're giving that you care about your community enough to give of yourself to make give them a good experience and give them a good time. So for me, like I'm thinking of like ways that like yes, it will be fun and it will cater to the community's experience, but will also be something that they want to share with people that on their social medias to their friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Because obviously maybe most of them probably won't be like have big followings and stuff, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. Like 10 of my
Yeah.
friends see it and they're like, oh, that looks sick. Like I want to know what's going on here. Then that's 10 people, that are now engaged with your brand, and maybe three of them buy, you know what I mean? And you
Mhm.
got that for free. Like you got those
Yeah.
customers for free. So I think that creating shareable experiences for those pop-ups is going to be big. That's something I'm going to focus on heavily and just kind of like be researching and stuff because I just think that that's like super huge. Even like you see a lot of these events, like those videos where it's like a those like formal events where they'll have like the little spinning thing that you stand on and it takes a video of the like the
Yeah. Yeah.
up. I think that's like obviously some corny shit that like
Mm-hmm.
probably we wouldn't do. But
Hmm.
stuff like that is literally engineered to like get people to like post it and post that they're at like a fun event.
Yeah.
So something like that I think would be really sick. I don't know, even down to like giveaways, like giving away like random stuff to people that
Hmm.
like maybe they would want to post or something like that.
Hmm.
I'm still kind of like in the lab with that one. And I've got a couple weeks to plan it, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So, well, all right, dude. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know it's Sunday. We're all trying to rest today and get ready
Yeah.
for the week. But, dude, I appreciate you coming on and, sharing your story and your experience. Again, I just want to, kind of reiterate to those watching that, Loren didn't copy me. He didn't copy me with his marketing strategies, with his personal brand strategy. Loren also doesn't have a massive personal brand. He doesn't have like a bunch of followers. He is building this brand without the heavy aid of a personal brand. He's doing it by building a community, and it's something I'm really, really, really happy to see it. It was very encouraging to myself, and hope this was encouraging to you guys as well, for those of you guys watching. But thank you, Loren, for showing face and for sharing your experience and your story and everything. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in on Tuesday's call then, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Marsh.
Sounds good, brother. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk soon. Now, what I love about Loren's story is not just the numbers. All right, numbers are cool, but what I really love is that he's built something with meaning. He's created something that his community like genuinely needed. He's done something that actually positively impact the world, right? He's doing good for the world and also doing good for his bank account, his business, his community. This motherfucker is winning, all right? Another one of my students, Connor Milton, just did $1,000 in 2 hours, and I think now he's up to 1,500. So it's looking like he's gonna have a great day as well. And dude, after helping dozens of brand owners, the one thing I can tell you is that the brands that win don't just have cool designs, all right? Cool designs, cool clothes are not enough. anymore. Okay, you need to have a community. You need to have a brand that means something, that does good for the world, that does good for someone else, that serves other people. All right, this isn't all about you. Most brand owners get this like egotistical little knot in their chest that makes them, build their brand for themselves. All right, and the brand is not all about you. It's about the people that you can serve, the way that you can impact the world in a positive, selfless way. Okay, and this is a prime example of that. And if you're serious about building a brand that actually stands out, means something, and impacts the world in a positive way while putting money in your bank account, hit the link in the description. There's an application to apply to work with me and my team. I don't work with many people. Loren was kind of like one of the ones that I was like, okay, I like this guy, let's work with him. But me and my team will review your application. We'll probably set up an interview to see if we can help you, to see if you'd be a good fit for what we have built. And listen to me when I say this, all right? We only work with committed founders. You saw Loren. All right, Loren was committed. Loren came to me with a shit ton of lost money in his warehouse, and now he's killing it. Now he's doing 9K in a week, which I'd say is pretty fucking good. So if that is you, if you think that is you, apply to work with me below. And look, I know this shit's hard. All right, I know it's a lot of trial and error, screwing up, trying again, screwing up and trying again. I've been there. All right, I had nobody to help me, nobody in my corner, nobody to support me, nobody to complain to, nobody to get advice from. All right, and I want to be that for you guys. All right, this shit is hard, but you can do it. You can do it, and it's fucking awesome when it finally does work. It does take a lot of work. It does take a lot of effort. It does take a lot of investment, but you guys have got this. I'm in your corner. I'm here to support you guys. Like this video. Hopefully you got some value from this. Hopefully you got some encouragement from this. Let's build some dope shit.